Hello and welcome to our look at the upcoming week of September 28th in the binary options market. I have the economic calendar in front of you. And as you can see, Monday has a lot of what we would call mid-level announcements. Business confidence coming out of France, Italy, gives us an idea of maybe how business leaders feel in the European Union. Can sometimes move the stock market. It's probably not a major mover, but certainly something to pay attention to. Core PCE comes out of the United States. That, of course, is a stock market moving event. Pending home sales doesn't carry the weight that it used to, so really, at the end of the day, it's hardly worth worrying about. Pretty straightforward, maybe stock market type of day on Monday. We have a handful of mid-level British announcements during the day on Tuesday. Really not a lot to get excited about. Consumer confidence out of the EU could move the DAX, the CAC, respectively, but really fairly quiet until we get a little bit later in the day. We've got German CPI. That could move the DAX specifically. And as we roll into later parts of the session, really not a lot going on until we get to Japan, which is industrial production. Look for the yen and the Nikkei to move on that. Wednesday gets us started with nationwide HPI. That's out of Great Britain. That could move the FTSE specifically. Would not look for any type of follow through anywhere else. So it's a very localized number. German retail sales. Look for the DAX and the euro to move on that. Germany, of course, being a huge component of the euro itself. German unemployment rate, unemployment change, etc. That, of course, will move the euro and the DAX. And then we have a fairly large announcement in the form of GDP coming out of the United Kingdom. That will move the FTSE and the pound, quite frankly. Unemployment out of the European Union is such a mixed number with the different types of economies in the European Union. It's difficult to really measure that effect on the market, so we will ignore that. ADP non-farm employment change, that is not the real number. That is from ADP, which is the United States' largest temporary, excuse me, not temporary employment, but it's a company that specializes in payroll. So they write checks basically for a lot of companies out there. So while they don't give you the whole number of the entire economy, because obviously not everybody uses ADP, it is a generally it's a good measure of what the jobs number might be on Friday in sense of, is it going up, is it going down, that kind of thing. Crude oil inventories on Wednesday, of course, will move crude oil itself. And as we get into Thursday, really at this point in time, you have to think, manufacturing PMI could move some stocks in the European Union, but really at this point in time, you're getting 24 hours from the jobs number. So really, most of these should be ignored. And then, of course, the jobs number coming out. Non-farm payrolls on Friday will dominate Friday, and that'll be by far the largest announcement of the session. One of our favorite currency plays at the moment is the US dollar against the Canadian dollar. You can see that every time we pull back, the buyers return. Looks like 1.35 will be targeted. We think pullbacks will continue to offer call buying opportunities. Oil's still pretty soft, really, at this point in time, and with that being said, this market should continue to go higher. On top of that, the Canadian economic picture really isn't that hot right now. Looking at the DAX, we fell pretty hard, but as you see, this cluster here is starting to offer support as we're forming a hammer. We believe the DAX, if it can get above 10,000, should continue to go higher, may even be able to bounce completely. We'll see. This is kind of a make it or break it area. So above 10,000, we become bullish. And finally, the NASDAQ's looking very much the same, except we had a shooting star from the previous week. So we think that we're probably going to more or less consolidate with an upward bias. That means short-term trades to the upside. We like calls, we take our profits, we wait for a pullback, which means value, and continue. With that, we've taken a look at the September 28th trading week.